traveling through Arizona, through New Mexico, had to cross there. There is Oklahoma City, I believe, or Albuquerque, yeah, Albuquerque, New Mexico, I believe, is that particular image in one of the parks there. Went through Dallas, Texas, so was able to stay in one of the suburbs of Dallas and do some riding as well. This one is in Louisiana, which was the first state that I stopped in, and at one of the parks there in Louisiana.
And so in a real sense, AJ, all of this information is, you've done this for how many years have you been involved in
Well,
this?
I've been involved with cycling since 2009. Got really serious about it about 2011 or 12. And at that time, I, just started setting some goals. I want to do a 100-mile ride. I was able to do that. And then I want to, travel from, one state to another, and was able to do that. And so it just kind of grew out of, a love of cycling, of staying fit. And, and I found a way to use that to also help people. So with the Fuller Center, I'm able to use the donations that are raised to help different families, which is part of the mission of the Fuller Center, to raise money to help families with their housing so that everybody has a safe place to live. The second thing that I raised donations for this year was also the Alumni Association at Tennessee State University. I am a graduate of Tennessee State University, and our fraternity chapter, Alpha Phi Alpha, and the BO Alumni Association also put on a bike ride, and they've been doing that since 1989. They put on a bike ride where we ride our bikes from Nashville to Memphis, and we do that every September. That is also a charity ride, so we raise funds to do that. So instead of, I guess, asking my generous donors to contribute more than, one time per year, I just kind of lumped them both together. So I was able to raise enough money to participate with the Fuller Center, and also to give funds to the Alumni Association, which will go to some deserving college students over at Tennessee State University.
And so you've been involved with charitable work as well as part of your strengthening program, I would imagine, in terms of bicycles. And now, how many people actually rode with you this time?
Well, I kind of broke it into three segments. The first segment was actually driving my car from Nashville to Seattle. So that was on my own, going through all the states that we just saw, and getting to Seattle. Once I got to Seattle and with the Fuller Center, and I think he explained in the video, there were 30+ people who were going all the way from Seattle, Washington to Washington, D.C. And I participated in the first 2 weeks of that, which, was the one that had really the most participation throughout all the segments that they're going to do. They break it into 9 one-week segments. So I did segments 1 and segments 2, going from Washington and then going into Idaho, and then the second week going from Idaho and into West Yellowstone, Montana. So approximately, 30+ people who are going the whole way, but at any point during any week of the segment, there could be 40 or 50 people with them.
And so people become involved with this, and it plays a very, very important part in what you call charitable work that the Fuller Center does.
Right.
I understand that you need funds in order to keep this activity going, and
yes,
in order
definitely.
to support this. Talk about that fundraising aspect.
The donations go towards the national organization, the National Fuller Center for Housing, but there's also a local organization. We do have the Middle Tennessee, what we call a covenant partner, which is one of the local chapters. So the Middle Tennessee Fuller Center for Housing is where all my donations went. Each cyclist gets to allocate the funds to whichever local organization they would want to. So with there being covenant partners all over the country, of course I chose the one that most affected me and back at home. And so I'm able to raise money for them. It goes towards the local organization, and then the local organization seeks applicants who need a hand and need help with their housing.
And so it serves a real purpose in terms of bringing people together and giving an idea in terms of how things you might be able to achieve certain things. And what we're going to do, we're going to take this second commercial break, and then we're going to come back and allow you to further elaborate upon some of these things. And we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break. And so we can go right into this.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna give you a 2-minute break. And then
Okay, then that sounds good.
just remember to try to keep your body turned towards the camera because you got
Towards that camera?
straight on Mr. Haney there.
Okay, got it.
You got it. So you're picking up everything.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, I didn't know how this would work. Now, this final segment will have those pictures, but for me to open it up, what do you want to talk about specifically? I mean, in addition to the pictures.
Just open up with that there's 3 parts. So tell us about, the third part of your mission,
1 minute out.
because we already got me driving to Seattle, what I did from Seattle to Yellowstone, and then just say